All right, this week's episode of Rolex of the Week is the Brooklyn Bridge Day Date. Now, this is another one where I was just scrolling through Instagram and I found a Rolex that I had never seen before. So I did a little digging and I found out that this watch is pretty rare. It was made in the 60s and they go for big money on auction sites like Phillips and Christie's. You know, this one here from Phillips sold for $305,000. Now that's Swiss francs, but it's roughly the same in US dollars. So to my knowledge, this is the only Rolex that has any sort of guilloche on the dial. But then I did some digging and I found on the Rolex forum a bunch of other models from the 60s with guilloche dials. You've got this one here with sort of a concentric guilloche, very nice, very beautiful. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the diamonds around the outside, but there you go. All of them seem to have Arabic as the secondary date language, which is interesting. That indicates to me that they were pushing these watches in the Middle East, most likely. And I don't know what the Rolex situation was in the Middle East in the 1960s. Was it as robust as it is today? Then you've got this one here with a very interesting dial, but also a really interesting bracelet. Would this be factory original? I mean, if you look there in the back, you can see the clasp, and that looks like a Rolex clasp. You know, I guess you could have attached this bracelet to a Rolex clasp, but hey, if this is original, that's fascinating, right? I mean, we don't see anything like this today from Rolex. This one here with a hobnail dial. I mean, you know, these are the type of things that I expect to see from Patek Philippe or Vacheron, but Rolex, I didn't know that these were a thing. And again, as you can see, all of them have Arabic numerals, either actual Arabic numerals around the dial or just Arabic language in the date wheel. Now this one is just stunning in my opinion. I mean, Rolex could make this watch today and it would seem modern. You know, I would think that this was a modern watch if I saw it today. Beautiful, beautiful dial. Those raised Arabic numerals, very, very nice. Again, same example here, but in rose gold. I mean, just gorgeous. I think if I were to go for a day date ever, it would be something like this. Just absolutely unique, very rare, and just really interesting. Again, look at this bracelet that we're seeing here on this one. I mean, I've never seen this before. Look at the clasp in the back. It does look like it could be a Rolex clasp, but I don't know. I've never seen this before. Really interesting stuff. We've got a gold one here with that tree bark bezel. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but you know, this type of bark bezel. You know, here I was thinking that the Brooklyn Bridge Day Date was the only one with this guilloche pattern, but you find some interesting stuff on the Rolex forum, let me tell you. All these examples of guilloche day dates sold for a lot of money at auction. And looking on Chrono 24, I can't find any examples of any of these day dates. I think they're all spoken for. I think they're all sold at auction or sitting in some collector's safe somewhere, because I think as time goes on, these will prove to be very collectible. You know, they already are, but even more so in the future, because there's no way Rolex is going to make something like this again. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to happen. So there you go, really interesting stuff. Hopefully it's new to you. It's completely new to me. I've never seen any of these dials before. I think my favorite one still might be the Brooklyn Bridge, because I live in Brooklyn and I see the Brooklyn Bridge every day, and it's a beautiful bridge. You know, the Brooklyn Bridge was built in 1863 or something like that. So when I first saw the Brooklyn Bridge designation for the Rolex, I thought, oh, were they celebrating the completion of the Brooklyn Bridge? And then I was like, no. The Brooklyn Bridge must have been completed long before Rolex was making these day dates in the 60s. You know, it's another nickname that us enthusiasts gave this watch. You know, it wasn't Rolex celebrating the Brooklyn Bridge. It was just a guilloche pattern that coincidentally resembled the Brooklyn Bridge. So really interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week for the Rolex of the Week, and peace out.